Hello and welcome to another episode of Sunday Funday. We're doing whatever we want. Today's gonna be a little bit different. I kind of want to talk about a couple things. They're going crazy outside. The bugs are very loud. I'm gonna close this window real quick. I'm gonna jump into the stream. So, Magic's kind of in a weird spot. It's been in a weird spot. We got a lot of stuff going on, and really, I just want to talk about like some of the stuff that I've seen, and I have to make my voice heard because we're part of the community, and that's just what you do when you care about something is you talk about it and how it makes you feel. And so this is kind of like a good like place to start. I feel like being able
What if you got
the ads being able to see a physical representation of like the way that um magic is directly impacting people. This is a post from a user who went to I think it was a store championship. The store championship, yeah. And there was nobody there. Like, you're going to like a premiere event. I'm sure that's like, the sorting table where the employee is working, or that's or the judge. Look at this. This person got a playset because he was the entire top four, and he got all the top two of each top eight promo, and he got the Fable. He, she, they, them. Got all these cards, no opponent, nobody to play against. And actually, it's really sad because if you read the article, they were shouting out the store. They won't say the names, but they just had a great time talking to the owner. He loved playing tournaments, and he was trying to like create a standard community, but it felt like it was just trying to go uphill. He says here, or they say here, um, he loved grinding tournaments, a passion I thought I was starting to develop. I did not want to show up and get a win by default. I came for a proper fucking shootout with proper men. Hate I It's such a funny joke there. But I started playing this game a year ago as Bloomborough came out. My friends were playing a game of Commander at our little board game night, and they insisted I tried it out. Ever since I've been hooked. I love playing Commander with the boys on the weekends, having a few beers and some food, turning cardboard sideways. But I felt an itch for some competition recently, so I started going out and trying some Standard. They understand very little about the current state of constructed play, not very involved in all the discourse. All all he has heard over the past years, they've made an effort to bring Standard back to the forefront. And is this what it's supposed to look like? People coming out and playing in open Commander games, but all their supposed effort, they can't manage to engage an audience in a compelling way to attract enough people to a Standard event at 2 p.m. on a Sunday. Seen the store packed to the roof with Commander players. Guess he's upset because he wants to get some practice in. I can't find people to play 60 cards constructed with. My only recourse is to buy a digital currency and open packs to hope that I get the cards from my deck on Arena. It doesn't sound like a sweet deal to me. Rant over. Like, totally valid. This person got into the game when Wizards wanted people to get into the game. Bloomborough was a huge appeal to a younger audience. It was a huge appeal to a different demographic, right? Magic is like a high fantasy game with like knights and mages and dragons and goblins and like mythical creatures, but it's also something that like could be softer and more gentle, right? Like less hard edges, like aesthetically, right? Like you go to from a plane like Lorwyn to a plane like Bloomborough, right? It's going to appeal to two completely different people. So when you go to Bloomborough, right, there's going to be a certain like group of people who just feel like Magic's too competitive, Magic's too hardcore, and maybe that's the time when we go to Bloomborough where other people join in, and other people are like, oh, I could play this game too. It kind of like maybe it gives them more of like a Pokemon-ish feel, like it's a safe game, like where it's less competitive, even if it's still Magic and it's still incredibly difficult, right? They're in an environment, they're in a mindset where it's like, okay, I'm playing with my mice, or I'm playing with my birds, or I'm playing with my bats. And then so this person started in Bloomborough and they've like built a deck and they've like done the thing, enjoyed the standard process. That's what Wizards wants. And now they show up to a tournament, and because just the way that standard is right now, they don't have anybody to play, and they end up talking to the store owner the entire time, which is like, that's good. Shout out to the store owner. It says that the store owner used to be a tournament grinder, so That must be really disheartening to see. 2 p.m. on a Saturday, nobody shows up for store championships, right? Like, imagine you're just trying to get better. You're just trying to play the game, and it just isn't healthy. And the reason probably why nobody showed up was because we got the day 2 metagame from the Spotlight Series Orlando, and more than 50% of the room was Vivi and Agatha's. Like, no surprise to anyone, but seeing these numbers is incredibly disheartening. 86 VV decks in the room, 54% of the room. So just with a quick approximation, right? That means that there's roughly 160, 170, 180 roughly decks, right? And or it would be like 170, right? Roughly, if we're doing percentages. But insane how you every other match are equally likely to play a VV or any other deck in the format. Like, actually ridiculous. Play the decks. What's up, Derek? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you dropping in. Play the best decks that beat them, adjusted also to beat the mirror. 1000%. That's the best way to beat a meta like this. Is you just look at it as, okay, I know that my sideboarding gets to be a lot more focused because like literally half of the time I'm going to be playing against Vivi, so I can hone in on that with my sideboard, and I can tune my main deck to also be able to beat Vivi. And then just make sure that you have a good matchup versus, I agreed, the mirror. We played against Goblins last night, and I think we lost because game 1 they were able to get a house squad into Krenko. It was so beautiful because we lost to our own deck, and that's like, I want to see that. I want to see more people playing Goblins because I think that we have a really good VV matchup. If they're just trying to race, we just get to go so big so fast. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how this is probably why nobody showed up for the store championship, and this person was able to literally grab all the promos because nobody wanted to play against Vivi. I had 2 friends on my team at the team event, Brandon and Kevin, who were on team Absolute Trash with me. I think I still have the shirt sitting around here. Yeah, right here. Team Absolute Trash. Boom. Don't know if you can see that. Let me make this full screen real quick. And both of them had VV built, and they just didn't want to play it. Shout out to Team Absolute Trash. We play what we want. We lose. We don't care. We're absolute trash, but we're having fun with it. That's all that matters. And it's like they had the decks. They could have played VV, but they just didn't want to play VV mirrors all day. So yeah, this definitely has something to do with standards. Fine, guys. Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. I'm in danger. Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually insane, and that's just how it is. That's why we were talking about main deck burn. Yeah, exactly. That's why I like it. Because you can kill their VV, but you can also push damage if you get them to low enough. And if you just swing out, you can like push damage every turn. And I think we have a good matchup. Along those lines, there's been a lot of hate towards stores, right? The issue being, like, why are stores scalping us? Why are they like charging so much more? And this is just a really good, like open, transparent comment from an employee. I'm just gonna read it and we're gonna talk about it. I've seen a lot of discussions in the sub complaining about card stores changing more than MSRP, charging more than MSRP. And I wanted to give my perspective as someone who's been behind closed doors about what decisions have to be made about pricing. My store consistently charges MSRP for all product we buy from distributors at normal MSRP pricing. However, we quickly run out of that product and are forced, because of high demand and set distribution cuts to our allocations, to buy boxes at market prices if we want any stock at all. If we were selling that product at MSRP, we would literally be burning money. We would also never have any in stock, and nothing would change for you. Our stores also fairly large, so we get a good amount of product. Some other LGSs get less than 1 or 2 cases of collector boxes. for sets like Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, where CBB are selling collector booster boxes are selling for 2 to 3 times the MSRP on the market. That product is gone actually instantly, and then they don't have enough liquid cash to buy a significant restock at market rates. I don't know. Just please hesitate to call your LGS owner a greedy scalper when they're already getting effed by WotC and distribution on this stuff. So great. So a couple things that we have to talk about here, right? I think this is first off a great point, right? People don't understand how stores work and what's allocation and like all that kind of stuff. So basically, what allocation is, Wizards designates a certain amount of product that distributors get, and distributors designate how much each of the stores that they have on their like in their account, how many each of the stores can get of what products, right? So like Wizards will say X amount of boxes are going to go to this distributor, and this distributor says, okay, well, we have a large store, a bunch of medium stores, and then like 200 small stores. And so how are we going to break this product that Wizards gave us into chunks depending on how big these stores are, how much stuff they buy from us? It's also based on like just how much money they're able to spend. The more money you're willing to spend at a distributor, the more product they're willing to give you to try to entice you to spend more money, because it's all a business, right? Wizards is selling to distributors for guaranteed profits. The distributors are trying to guarantee their profits. The stores are trying to guarantee their profits. So what they're saying is, for the original percentage that is allocated or like designated to the distributors, and then the distributors allocate a certain amount to the store, for the amount that the store gets, they're always charging MSRP to you, because it doesn't make any sense for them because they can still make their money back charging MSRP, right? But after they get through that original designated chunk, they have to go back to the distributor or to Wizards or to online marketplaces and say, okay, well, we need more. And then they don't get the original discounted rate from the allocation. Instead, they have to like go and pay the normal rate, not what we pay, right? But like it's called, I think it's called what do they call it? We have to, it's restock. So they have to go back for a restock and they get charged slightly more. And so then those boxes are going to charge more. And the reason that we think that they're more expensive right off the bat is because the original boxes have been pre-sold, right? The ones that are cheap have already been sold by people before the set even comes out. They're like, yeah, it comes out. I want a whole case. Give me 6. And then like 15 people do that. And then they don't have any. And then all of the ones that we walk in and ask about, of course, they're going to be more expensive because those are the ones that they had to go to different mediums to get, right? Besides directly from Wizards to the distributor to the store. So this is a really good point because a lot of people just don't know the background, right? And so like, and I say all that to say this: when Final Fantasy boxes sell for like $1,200 online, and they were charging like $500 for them, right? The LGS just stares at their hands and watches sand run through the fingers as like their money just disappears, right? Because like they have to buy a certain amount in order to keep like their, because the same thing we were talking about before, where a store spends more money, they get more product. The inverse is also true. If the store spends less money, they get less product. And so when we go from like bad set to bad set, it's really hard when we go to a good set for the stores to have enough allocation in order to get the amount of products that they need to like stimulate their local community, like have enough packs to sell to all the people who want them. And so, yeah, don't call your stores greedy scalpers, right? Unless like they're doing something really shady, a lot of times they're just trying to survive because Wizards is charging more, distributors are charging more, everything's charging more. And so, yeah, like just like store owners are the lifeblood of the community. You know, the good ones are like gems. The same thing with store owners and judges, in my mind, have a very similar role in the community. And they're very important. When you find a good judge, when you find a good store owner, you protect them, you talk to them, you make sure that they're doing good in their life. You're like, hey, how you feeling? Like, are you okay? Because they're like underappreciated pillars of our community. It's designed to maximize profit on Wizard's side. it holds zero regard for the future of the game because the number must go up of publicly traded companies. Yeah, you're right. That is the issue. It's an unavoidable downward spiral. Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree that it's not sustainable. It's like it's a curve. It's like a curve to infinity, right? It just goes straight up. Eventually, we're gonna hit the point where we have like this is like worst case scenario, right? Wizards fully embraces the AI part. They stop using people to create sets. They allow generative content to make up the future of Magic, and they just start using like AI slop not only for art but for like card text and set design. And so we eventually end up with Wizards not having to pay any of their employees. They only have to pay for a subscription to AI, and it makes generative slop until the end of time. And that's like how that infinity curve goes straight up, right? Is like eventually we could get to a point where everything we that new that we see is AI, and none of it is actually designed by humans. And then we're in a position where we're just like really sad and we wish we could go back. But the beautiful thing about Magic, right, is that we always get to have like and I'm not saying like that's guaranteed, right? That's worst case scenario, but my brain goes to worst case scenario. So, and so we're talking about like, okay, so this stuff is really expensive. Like LGS is our scalpers right down here, right? Let me see. Let me see what they're saying, right? Little drama. I got banned recently from a local game store I've been going to for 6 years now because I outed them on Reddit for how shitty of a price they're selling these collector boosters at. Oh, I don't want to show the store, but and then there's like sales data. People are buying them for $900, and this person is really sad because they're doxing them, and I agree. Doxing is not cool. However, some game stores can expand. My favorite LGS is 40K days, D&D days, Blood Bowl days, board game days, all with tables for open play. That's honestly, I think, the future is we stop relying so much on like, as crazy as it is, we have to like rely on like smaller stores, smaller communities, like to just like make competitive play, locally organize it, like make sure that everything is like, because a smaller community can react faster than Wizards can for everything, right? And that's really important. Like the speed and like the care is really important for a lot of things. And so I think the fact that they're selling them for 1,000 is crazy. But if people are buying them for 1,000, I can't blame them. But that is really insane. And so there's just like so much going on. There's like Spider-Man spoilers that I just wanted to like show the one goblin that I think might be playable. We might build around Norman Osborn, and for a 1/1 human scientist villain. So this part is not a goblin. Can't be blocked. Whenever Norman Osborn deals combat damage to a player, he connives, which is that he draws and discards. If he discards an on-land, you put a counter on it. 4 mana transform Norman Osborn. Activate only as a sorcery. Grixis and a generic. You flip him over into Green Goblin, which is a 4 mana 3/3. It's not. It's a 3/3 with flying and menace. This one is a goblin. It's a goblin human villain. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 generic less to cast. Each online card in your graveyard is mayhem. The mayhem cost is equal to its madness cost. So anything that you ever discard can be cast with mayhem, which is madness, but only at normal timings. So you can like cast something from your graveyard if it's a creature, but you have to wait till your second main to do it. And it makes your spells that you cast from your graveyard cost 2 generic less to cast. So like if you're playing a Howl Squad, if you discard a Howl Squad, right, you can play Howl Squad for 1 red. If you discard a Krenko, you can play Krenko for 2 red. I think this card's actually really good. The issue is you got to pay 4 mana to flip it, and it's got to not die. And then once you flip it over, then you got to do stuff. So it's probably got to live a whole turn cycle. Seems like a little bit fragile, but putting us in like Rakdos could be good because we're also getting other good Rakdos goblins in this set that I've seen so far. And then, having access to blue gives us access to things like Kaido and Spell Pierce and into the Floodmaw. So lots of like really cool stuff. We could end up in Grixis goblins because we have no real tie to any other color right now, which is just mono red. So we could definitely splash black and blue just to be able to play the green goblin. By the way, scalpers buy up something on mass to significantly inflate the price to resell at a higher price. So Watsy controlling the distro, they're the scalpers. Oh, Derek, that's so big brain. I'm gonna read that again. Scalpers buy up something en masse to artificially inflate the price to resell at a higher price. So Watsy controlling the distribution, they're the scalpers. That's it right there. Hey, what's up? What's up? Appreciate you dropping in. Also a goblin human. You know what? Aren't we all? We all have a little bit of goblin in us. It's crazy. I think there's like one other card that's like a pretty decent goblin I wanted to go over. But yeah, I mean, like so far, some of these cards are just really, really good. Like, been very impressed with a lot of this stuff. I definitely want to see like what other goblins they're gonna include. It's like the multicolors. Yeah, down here. Carnage seems really cool. I don't think that it's like the ultimate green goblin is the one that I open image and new tab. So 3 mana for a 5/4. So there's got to be a downside. The downside is the beginning of your upkeep, you discard a card and then create a treasure token. And you can mayhem it for 3. So you may cast it for 3 if you discard it this turn, but you have to do it like normal timings. Okay. So you're playing Jund, right? Turn 1 Llanowar Elves, like, dual land Llanowar Elves. Then you play Ultimate Green Goblin on 2. And then you untap. You discard the biggest, baddest thing, Valgavoth, the Moth Lady, Valgavoth. Then you play your land for turn and reanimate it. Like it also it ramped you. You don't even you don't even need the land. Like it's actually insane. You can play it like it turns like all your stuff, all your mayhem creatures on. Like it's just like super overcosted. You can like self-destruct this. You can deal them 5. Like I'm just like so much brewing going on, and I think mayhem's gonna be actually a lot of fun. Like we get to play the really good like Aether Drift cards and like the good 1-drops and 2-drops, and then we just get to play like discard synergies and like stuff like that. The one downside of Mayhem is it goes to the graveyard and then you can cast it from the graveyard, so it can be hit by like Rest in Peace stuff. But I mean, it's like if you have priority, they can't really like exile it in response once you put it on the stack. So I think this is ridiculous. Like giving you a treasure is such an upside and making you discard a card in your upkeep. So if you have no cards in hand, you still like get the treasure, then go to draw. Like I think this card just templated very strongly, and I mean like you can give it haste with with Howl Squad Heavy. So I'm just like super excited. My top 3 goblins. Let me see. I'll go to Scryfall for you. Scryfall. So first one would probably be Pile Driver. I love Goblin Pile Driver. This is like one of my like original favorite goblins. I remember the first time that I found Pile Driver. I was like, oh my god, why doesn't everybody play Pile Driver? This card's so good. Back when I was playing Bushwhacker and we were just aggressive all the time in Modern. I played bad goblins in Modern for the longest time. Before we got Matron or Ringleader. Those were the days. Then I also love like Kiki Jiki. I would say it's number 2. I also love Muxus, but like Kiki Jiki's like, I'm a combo guy. Like I just love combos. And so Kiki Jiki being able to go infinite with a ham sandwich just makes me so happy. And then my all-time favorite goblin of all time is Goblin Ringleader because it's so easy to draw cards. Like it's so difficult to draw cards in red, but like it's so easy when it's stapled to a Ringleader because so often it's like, oh, that's fine, it's not going to do anything, and then you draw 4 goblins and you're just like, whoa, that's kind of insane. So I would say those are my top 3. And yeah, I'm just like super excited to have new cards to brew with. Like it's awesome. I mean, like the competitive play aspect of it is really tough, right? Like this worst case scenario, like you go to your LGS, like all these other card games are super active, right? All these there's a bunch of new card games, so like people are leaving the game, right? Like, and so then you have like situations like this where it's like Wizards, you need to make sure your competitive play environment is like popping. You got to make sure it's like the hottest thing on the block, because guess what? There's other new kids on the block that want to steal your customers, and so you got to make sure that you protect your competitive play environment so that people don't see this when they want to like play tournaments and just leave for another game where they know they're going to have people there. So yeah, that's kind of my rant. Appreciate you for listening. Now it's Sunday Funday, so we just get to play whatever we want, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna keep jamming. I think I want to do. If we look at this, boom. I think this is still how we wanted to play it. I like most of this stuff. The sideboard feels good, but let's see if we can find something else. Maybe we play some Brawl. Let's play some Brawl. The Adventures of General Kriat, just for a little bit. Why not? Squee, yeah, Squee's a legend. Squee Goblin Nabob is hell yeah. Well, I mean, like we played against Nikachu, and Nikachu was using Squee to in like combination with like I think it was Survival of the Fittest, so he could just discard Squee, then pick it up in his upkeep, and then it's constantly in his hand. I don't know what this does, but it looks kind of cool. I don't remember putting that in the deck, but it's always nice when you play your deck and you're like, oh, I don't remember that. We'll take First Blood. Playing against Prosper, so they're gonna have a pretty good blocker on turn 4. Definitely have removal. I mean, when this goes in the graveyard, I draw a card, so let's put it here. Kasmaka. Golem. And we could just like shoot it. No, we definitely don't want to shoot it then if that's all the stuff it says. Menace and Haste. I mean, I like that. No, let's just get General Kriat in play. Firebrand already has Menace. Manasse. Then we hit him, deal some damage, pass the turn. So I'm not classically trained, but you know, I taught myself some stuff, and I like to make music. I'm pretty bad at it, but I actually love making music. And yeah, I use this. It's my MIDI controller, so like I have it hooked up to like my DAW, and I use it to like make really bad beats, and like then I'm a big writer. Everything's buried, but like I have a notebook. Yeah, so like I have like this one. No, I have a bunch of songs that I write. They're not always the greatest, but I love them. And guess they took that. I think we just play Squee. Speaking of Squee, here we go. Yeah, so I make this whole thing right here is full of songs. I have like stuff next to my desk. I think I have a song actually on this thing. Sometimes you run out of paper, so you just write on random stuff. Like I make a lot of music, and it's not the greatest, but I love it. So if I shoot down the Valkyrie, they can't block at all. So I think that's it. Yeah. So I make a lot. I make a lot of. I just like to create stuff. Honestly, it's like just the act of creation is just so satisfying. You get to like share your soul. You know, like even if nobody listens, right? The fact that you like did it, it's like my therapy. That's how I look at it. And so like I like to write, and then shoot the Valkyrie. We draw a card. I like to write and then I make the beat afterwards, and I try to like make the beat to match the thing, but I'm not like trained, so like a lot of it is just same thing that I do on my YouTube, where I just throw a lot of paint at the wall, see what sticks, and then I just keep doing that. So like whatever I feel like I make something that like feels good, I try to do a lot of that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Sorry about rambling. We got the chieftain back. Did we just slam the chieftain and killed him? So they shocked. They go to 5. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I mean, like, you make it for you because like art is born out of a struggle, like physical, emotional, spiritual. Like we people who create don't do it because like they have like everything figured out. They create because they love something. And like I watched a really good. Okay, so this video will probably get copyrighted for this, but I want to show you a video. We can just close all these tabs. So basically, there's this guy. You can go to YouTube and I'll show you. So first off, if you want to listen to my bad music, it's this. This is my music is under John Strepik. I made it that so that nobody would ever find it. It's just like, if I tell you about it, then you know what to look for. No one's ever gonna find me like just like randomly. I got 126 songs out there. It's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, like everything. College Cubed was my first album. I have a bunch of like smaller albums and projects. Then I have a bunch of singles. And then Abomination is like the most recent album. That's like my breakup album for my last relationship. So yeah, it's just like a lot of like heavy stuff. I don't want to say dark, it's like out of sadness, out of pain, like frustration, like that's just like the way that I make stuff. So yeah, a lot of it's spoken word, and then like College Cubed is pretty much all like spoken word, like conscious, like I don't want to say conscious. It's like just me talking about my life and like the frustrations of life. And then a lot of this is just like me having fun with wordplay and like creating songs. And then Abomination is like, I would say this is more like punk rock, whereas the rest of it is like pretty like much spoken word. Like I'm singing a lot on this, more than I've ever done. But there was this thing. I think I have it. It's in my playlists. Oh, this is my playlists. Mind the Gap. So basically, it was just a video where CoffeeZilla was talking about how when he first started, he felt like he was really bad at what he was doing. And he felt like, he was really struggling. And so he said that a video that he found really helped him. The video was talking about how when you start something, it's because you have a love for something and like something's driving you to do something, to create. Like you have a desire to make something because you either want to watch something that doesn't exist or you just love the act of creating. And so when you do that, right, you start and your content, that whatever you make, right? He was talking about radio, but it applies to YouTube too. The stuff that you make is really, really bad in the beginning, like unbelievably bad. And he was saying how your taste, the thing that got you into the game, it's still impeccable. It's still sharp. You know that what you're making, it's not really good. But if you keep going and you get through that stage of your stuff being pretty bad, eventually you get to the point in the future where you're slowly starting to get to where your goals and your like aspirations for yourself are. You slowly start to level up and you get to the point eventually where your taste is allowing you to navigate the throwing paint at a wall until eventually you get to the point where you feel good about what you're doing. You feel like strong enough in what you're doing that you can slowly get better and continue, and eventually you become good. And that's only because you achieve a body of work. You get through that hard time. And most people, when they get to that, he was saying how most people get to that beginning part and they realize that the stuff they make is not where their taste wants them to be, and they quit. And what you need to do is you need to say, okay, the only reason why the people that I look up to in this space, the only people why um, the only people that I feel like are like really good at it, the only reason that they're really good at it is because they've put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. Because the big thing is that you have to make a body of work. That's what gives you confidence. That's what allows you to feel like you know what you're doing, like you understand what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, nobody really knows what they're doing, right? We're all just trying to make it work. Um, and so this bolts my opponent, and then I get to swing for a bunch. Um, so the best thing that you can do for yourself if you're trying to create in anything is to just make a lot of something, make it bad, just try to do different things. And eventually over time, you'll be where you want to be. And it will feel like it just happened. It won't feel real. And that's because most people don't continuously put in work into what they love. Most people, they just give up. And all you can do, like all I can say with all my heart, and what he was saying was just whatever you do, do not give up when you're bad at something. Work until you're good at it. Like have that be your goal. Don't have your goal be like I want to be the best at something or I want to make the best thing ever. Instead, your goal should just be that you're a little bit better than you were yesterday, and that should keep you satisfied because eventually that stacked on top of itself will get you further than anything else in the world. So sorry about rambling. I just think that like, is that Logan Paul video? No, it's not Logan Paul. It's let me see if I can look it up on my phone actually. Give me 1 second. And then I can look up the title and I can link it so that you can watch it. I have it saved. It's in my self-help encouragement playlist. Free advice that helped me survive 7 years. Hmm. No, I'm not a philosopher. I like to think. I just like it. Um, what was I looking up? Free advice. Advice that helped me survive 7 years of. Here we go. I don't even know if you hear this, but we'll watch this after this game because I think it's really important because like it helped me a lot when I was starting out. And I think that like when you're making something, you really need to have like some encouragement. Yeah, make me sack. Really. This 4-drop is not going to do it. Stone Rain would be good, but I just don't think we're going to get there, honestly. Get this down. Get this Inti down. Attack the Lily. Pitch the Breaches, right? Um, let's pitch the Bushwhacker. We're looking for lands. Oh, but I can't play that. At least they can't edict now. Yeah, I'll pitch the Pashulik because it doesn't have the biggest body. Hey, you know what? I I make a lot of really bad stuff. That's the way I look at it. I make bad music, I make bad content, but I love it. And I think that like a lot of good can come from just loving something. None of these are goblins. I can't kill it. This is really bad. We can give this trample. Yes, let's go to combat. Let's attack. With just the grease wrench. Pitch the gem palm. We're looking for a land. It's not a land. It does trample, so even if they block it, it kills the VV or the lily. Lily. Play the scamp so we don't lose it. We can start putting counters on the scamp with the NT, which is nice. Sometimes all we need to do is encourage each other, right? Like, it's the little things that mean a lot. All right. Can cast the demonic ruckus on the Codis to make it bigger. Oh, but we drew the land. It's all over, opponent. You're gonna die now. Play the legend. They're gonna have a counter spell for sure. They've been waiting. And then they kill it. I would like to do this, yes. Let's attack like this. Yeah, breaches is looking a little slow. Ooh, molten duplication would be really cool. They just take it. Nah, I'll keep the scamp for now. Honestly, I think if they kept the coitus back, they'd probably be in a great spot. I actually just got your dream job this past week. Been working towards it for years. It's sad in a way though, because I also feel like I just stepped away from your other creative projects. That's amazing. Congratulations. Really happy for you. Honestly, you gotta grind until you get what you want, right? But like there are sacrifices along the way, and that is tough. That is tough. But hopefully the sacrifices are worth the dream. But it's really hard to have that balance, right? There's no Inti anymore. Tough. Can we race? I mean, I think so. We just go like this. We hope to draw land. Pitch 2, draw 2. I mean, the Lord's really good. If I draw a land, do a sack scamp. Do a scamp. Scamp. I will not sack the scamp. I think there will be. I want to be my creative side of a new job. Just kind of fear that things are definitely going to change. Change is sometimes good. It's always scary, but it's sometimes good. You just gotta do your best to make sure you set yourself up for success. And you know, as long as you're doing your best, you can't worry because you're doing your best, and that's all you can do. You gotta just take a deep breath. You got this. I believe in you. I send you good vibes. You're smart. You're gonna make all the right decisions. You're gonna be successful. Sometimes all you need is just somebody to say that they believe in you. So I believe in you. War Chief. Everything. Jump. Bounce. I mean, I could definitely sack. Proliferate, my dude. Put them to 1. Yeah, let's get rid of their creatures. Good vibes is all we got. All we got in this house is good vibes. Stadium Headliner, but they can't activate it. Just a blocker. Dark Confidant. Oh, we should just pass. Oh, actually, no. We just play General Create. Go to combat. Attack. They take a damage. They go to 2. They block a 2 and a 6, and they die. Good game. Well played, opponent. I mean, you had me scared there. You were racing with the Codas. Coitus? I don't know. Just pass would have been way funnier. I agree. But this way, the goblins kill them. we gotta put the fear of goblins in them. All right, so yeah, let's go watch this video. And, you know, I'll probably make this a separate segment. Ads, no. Come on, ads. And so this is a video that I found probably when I was making music, just in my first year of making music. And it was really hard for me to like listen to what I made. I loved making it and I loved writing it and I loved what the music was, but listening to it was always really hard because it just didn't feel right. And so like this was also early CoffeeZilla. This was back when 4 years ago. So you can look at the Wayback Machine. I think he didn't even have 1 million subscribers back then. He's really ballooned. I started watching him in college because he was doing the scammer videos and he would call out the scammers. And it was just like really interesting to watch. Look at this old setup. Three things, right? Like people don't appreciate the power of something that's free. And this is somebody who is successful, like back then was successful, but is now like super, super successful, giving us free advice. And I took this to heart because I respected this a lot. Being able to give people advice that's not followed with an ad or trying to charge them for something. It really is kind of crazy. Um, can't hear the video. Oh, yeah. You know what? I can fix that. Thank you for telling me. We will stop doing this. Start doing a window.
game.
Does this work now?
Guys, a little bit about some free advice that
Oh, now the stream is completely black. Okay. So we do this. It might take a second. Maybe it's just my phone. The screen's black, so I'm just going to wait for it to load on my phone. Okay, so if I'm on this screen, then it works. But when I go to this screen... Okay, now it's working. Right, yeah.
I want to do something a bit different today. I want to share with you guys, by the way, we're in the studio at night, of course, came in, had to get to the studio at night. You guys know how it is. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about...
Then I'm not going to pause it. I'm just going to let it run and talk at the end.
About some free advice that changed my life. You guys know, first of all, how I'm a fan of free things. Second of all, generally speaking, you know, I'm not trying to tell you guys that I have the answers, but I'm just going to tell you something that helped me out. Because I realized the other day that I've been in the game, the YouTube game, for 7 years. This is actually my first video that I ever uploaded right here. It was a piano video, and that's 7 years ago, February 1st, 2014. Now it's private, and it will be staying that way, to be honest. I knew nothing about cameras, lighting, anything else. Now you see me on...
Yeah, appreciate you dropping in. We're talking about how you got to make a body of work and encouragement when you're first starting in anything creative. And this is a video that helped me a lot when I first started making music, before I even started making YouTube. So they were watching this just as some encouragement.
I'm in the $10 million studio. You say, Steven, you just maybe you were just born like this. Maybe you just know how to make this stuff because you're just gifted. The answer is no. It was a long process, and I want to share with you guys something, because the truth is, if you're going to do anything ambitious, it is going to take a lot of time of just being bad. And you have to get comfortable with that. I know that seems counterintuitive, but if you can just get comfortable with the fact that you're going to fail for a long time to achieve what you want, you can improve your odds. Because when I started YouTube, I knew that the odds were stacked against me. So I just said to myself, if I can endure failure for longer than your average person, my odds go up, right? There's no guarantees in life. Obviously, it's a very hard thing to kind of break into, but my odds improve enormously.
And that's like huge when you're doing anything creative, is to just give yourself enough time to grow. And growth doesn't happen overnight, doesn't happen in a month, doesn't happen in a year. Like 7 years on YouTube, like that's shows the dedication, and that's why he's as big as he is now. And just that advice of, hey, you're going to suck. You're going to suck for a long time. Sucking is not bad. Sucking is the path towards success. And the only time that you really lose is when you give up and you walk away from what you love and doing something that's important to you. And so, yeah, just everything that he says in the rest of this video, and what the other dude says that he's referencing, is just so impactful. And like, I don't like making reaction content, but this is something that like I really wish that I found earlier. And when I found it, it helped me a lot when I was making bad stuff.
And so you guys now see the CoffeeZilla, you see the $10 million studio, you see the Lambo, and you say, Steven, you're this big shot success, whatever. And the reality is that no, it was just a lot of work. In fact, when did Coffee Break start? Because that's when I first started to get a little bit of success. Coffee Break started 3 years after my first video. So in 3 years, I got 400 subscribers. Now, how do you deal with that? Well, I'll tell you how I dealt with it, and you'll find your own way. But this is a video that I've shared probably 10 times just this week. It's one of my favorite videos on the internet, and it really helped me when I was sucking. I thought I'd share it with you guys today. Maybe you'll get a little benefit out of it. Maybe not. I don't know. It's just a different kind of video.
I hope that you get some benefit out of this, because it really helped me a lot. And if you're an inspiring creative, I think that this video speaks to you regardless of what your medium is.
This is, by the way, who is this? Because, right, we don't just listen to random people. This is Ira Glass, creator of This American Life. It's one of the most successful podcasts. And he does really interesting stories, but he's about to share with you about like the gap, as we'll call it.
Nobody tells people who are beginners, and I really wish somebody had told this to me, is that if you're watching this video, somebody wants to make videos, right? And all of us who do creative work, like, you know, we get into it, and we get into it because we have good taste. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to make TV because you love TV. You know what I mean? Because there's stuff that you just like love.
You love magic content, so you make magic content because you love magic. Like, I love talking about goblins. I love playing goblins. It's my favorite thing to do in the entire world. Brewing, deck building, playing. Brewing, deck building, playing. That's my loop, and I'll do it forever. And I'm not the greatest at video creation. I'm not the greatest at editing. I'm not the greatest at deck building and like playing, right? But I love it, and I want to dive in and create.
Imagine little CoffeeZilla watching this. No subscribers, no one's watching. I'm trying to did chemical engineering, a stable career path, to do YouTube. How could I do it? This changed my life.
Okay, so you've got really good taste, and you get into this thing that I don't even know how to describe, but it's like there's a gap that for the first couple of years that you're making stuff,
yeah,
what you're making isn't so good. Okay,
sucks.
It's not that great.
It's
not that great. It's
really bad. My stuff was really bad in the beginning. I had to do so many shorts in a single day just to try to be okay. And this is like so real.
He's lying to you. It's going to be worse than not great.
It's trying to be good. It has ambition to be good, but it's not quite that good.
Yeah.
But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, your taste is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you can tell that it's still sort of crappy. A lot of people never get past that phase. A lot of people at that point, they quit.
Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 guys.
I would just like say to you with all my heart is that most everybody I know who does interesting creative work, they went through a phase of years where they had really good taste. They could tell what they were making wasn't as good as they wanted it to be. They knew it felt short. You know, and some of us can admit that to ourselves, and some of us are a little less able to admit that to ourselves. But we knew like it didn't have this special thing that we wanted it to have. The thing I would say to you is everybody goes through that. And for you to go through it, if you're going through it right now, if you're just getting out of that phase, if you're just starting off and you're entering into that phase, you got to know it's totally normal. And
that is the statement that completely changed, because the idea that it's normal to fail over and over and over in the first years of getting into anything. And by the way, he's talking about creative work here. He's like obviously in radio. I think it applies to everything. I think this advice applies across the board. I think it was Mark Cuban who said, try to get your first, failure in business out of the way as quickly as possible if you're going to go into entrepreneurship. In other words, it's normal. It's completely normal to fail, especially when you get started. And so often, I feel like if there was a through line with fake gurus, it would be people trying to take shortcuts in life in order to find success faster. People trying to find blueprints for something that doesn't really have a blueprint. I can't tell you how many times I've told people what the things I've learned on YouTube, and what actually is holding them back when I watch their videos is just they haven't put in the time. It's not some magic formula. It's just they haven't made enough stuff. They haven't put enough hours in. And that's what people are always trying to, replace. I mean, the easiest way to see this is in the gym. Everyone knows how to get ripped in the gym. It's just work out. The reason most people are not, ripped, cut, is not because they don't have the best trainer in the world. It's because they don't want to put in the time. You and I both know that. And yet, for some reason, it feels like this is kind of hard to find advice these days. And why? Because you can't sell it. Nobody's selling this advice.
the most important possible thing you could do is do a lot of work.
That too.
Huge volume of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week or every month, you're going to finish one story. You know what I mean? Whatever it's going to be, like you create the deadline. It's best if you have somebody who's waiting for work for you, somebody who's expecting it from you, even if it's not somebody who pays you, but that you're in a situation where you have to turn out the work. Because it's only by actually going through a volume of work that you're actually going to catch up and close that gap.
Yeah. And that's also something that I really internalized, especially with CoffeeZilla. I mean, only a year and change ago, I decided I needed to start not just doing, I needed to do more videos. I was putting out a video a month, and I was like, that's too slow. And CoffeeZilla, really, I started to kind of find my voice when I started to do more videos. I don't know if this is true for everyone. I know some people like to take their time with videos, but that really resonates with me as far as doing a huge volume of work. And look, I know for a lot of you, none of this resonates. Maybe you don't care about this. Maybe you have a job. Maybe you don't want to, do something kind of off the beaten path. But I also know that a lot of people do. And you hear the stats of, how often people fail, and you want to know how you can give yourself a better shot. Well, I'm telling you how I gave myself, I feel like, a better shot, at least, was internalizing this message and being willing to commit basically 4 to 5 years of very little success on YouTube, till finally I kind of started to figure out, how to make videos that are worth watching, if that makes sense. And I still feel like I'm finding that out every day. I mean, I've told someone just the other day, like, most of my videos are disappointments to me, which is.
And that's real. Like, what you make is not going to be up to your standards. And that goes back to the taste thing. You have to be willing to make something bad in order to make something good. That's the whole reason I wanted to share this video, was because it's really important to know you're not alone when you make something and it's not up to snuff. You shouldn't hate it. You shouldn't burn it. You shouldn't hide it. You have to kind of explore the bad mistakes in order to get to a better place where you can create something great. And so, that goes to music, that goes to YouTube. And I just wanted to share this because it's amazing to have free advice, right? Free advice is something that just doesn't exist nowadays. And so I just wanted to share that just as kind of a hey, this is real. And sometimes you don't, things just don't always work out. You have to kind of put in a huge volume of work before you can get success. And success is only measured. What is it? The number one thing that you can't fake is 10,000 hours. Mastery comes after 10,000 hours. And, if you create more, then you can reach that 10,000 hours quicker. And if you don't want to put the work in, you just won't make it. So yeah, I really appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for watching. This has kind of been a chill stream. Sunday Funday. We get to do it whatever we want. So thank you so much for being here. 10 o'clock p.m. CST, we stream every single day. We also put out Goblins shorts. So if you enjoy shorts, go look at that. We just did a podcast episode with my brother Cole. We're going to be talking about Spider-Man spoilers coming up soon when we get more of those. And so lots of stuff in the pipeline. Going to be doing a lot going forward. And so thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy Goblins content, if you enjoy listening to me ramble, hit like and subscribe. Easiest way to support the channel, and it's free. If you want to do more, support the channel, $1 a month gets you numbered out in every stream. From the top, and then we're going to go Alpha Roran, Tim's Top Decks, Elias Sutter, The Darth Newt, 880Y100K, Jared Monster Man, and Annan, Riberio, Cypher 777, The High Wumpus, AJR, B. Rhyme, Corvus, Gur, Sliver of Nope, Scott McIntosh, Javier Hebo, Vela Roth, Yorminger, Terry, Athena Burrito, Tricker Philosophy, and you. Thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me. Till next time.